Divine Connections, fusing business and faith to bring unconventional revival.
Hello, and welcome back to my page, Divine Connections. So today in this video, I am going to define what a divine connection is. I'm going to give you 5 detectors, and also I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite Bible stories that beautifully depicts a divine connection, and that is between Jonathan and David. Awesome relationship. So we're going to go into that. But right now we are going to just jump in first with defining what divine is. So you'll see that I have a piece of paper. So if you hear any crumpling in the background, it's because I'm trying to make sure I refer to everything that is necessary in this video. So Webster defines divine as something that relates to or proceeds directly from God. Dictionary.com defines divine as something that makes provision for the future. And Webster defines connection as something that is joined or linked together. So my definition as a divine connection or of a divine connection, it is a person or resource that is sent by God for purpose in your life. Okay? Again, a divine connection is a person or resource sent by God for purpose in your life. So why I really feel that this video is so important is because as an entrepreneur, it is important for you to have people in your life who are pushing you towards purpose. It's so important for you to have a team, to have supporters, to have a cheerleading squad. And there's going to be times in your journey where you are going to get tired, you're going to get frustrated, you're going to want to give up. But when you have that divine connection in your life, they are going to push you, and they're going to see resources for you even when you don't. They're going to pray for you when you are in need of it, and they're really going to be there to support you. Okay? So what I want to do is just talk to you a little bit about David and Jonathan. So I'm going to give you a little bit of beef. I must be hungry. I'm going to give you a little bit of a brief background in regards to both of them. So Jonathan is actually the son of Saul, who is the current king of Israel. Now there's a prophet named Samuel who comes to David and says that you are going to be the upcoming king. So for many years, Saul and David had beef because, see, I'm hungry. They had beef because Saul was upset. He was really salty that David was going to be the upcoming king and that he was going to push him out of the throne. So I'm going to go ahead and read 1 Samuel 18 verses 1 through 4 just to give you a little bit more, and I'll continue to explain. So verse 1 says, as soon as he has finished speaking to Saul, which we're talking about David right now, the son of Jonathan was knit to the soul of David, and Jonathan loved him as his own soul. And Saul took him that day and would not let him return to his father's house. Then Jonathan made a covenant with David because he loved him as his own soul. And Jonathan stripped himself of the robe that was on him and gave it to David and his armor and even his sword and his bow and his belt. So I'm going to go into the first detector. And the first detector to know if you have a divine connection is that this person or this connection actually puts you before they put themselves. So they're not jealous of you. They are making sure that they actually are serving you. So this is what Jonathan did. And you'll see in verse 4 that Jonathan gave David his robe. He gave him his belt. He gave him all of those things because he actually preferred David. And not only did Jonathan prefer David for the kingship, why Jonathan felt that way towards David was because when they first met, they knew that it was an instant connection, and this instant connection was from God. Jonathan heard from God on the behalf of David, and he understood that David was supposed to be in the throne. Now, when you look at the kingship and those who are supposed to be in the throne for the next generation, it should have been Jonathan. It should have been Jonathan because, as we know, Saul was Jonathan's father. and he was the next heir for the throne. But because, going back to that number one detector, but because Jonathan preferred David over himself, he was not jealous of David, but he made room for David's success. So your divine connection is going to prefer you over themselves because they're not jealous, but they want success for themselves just like they want success for you. Okay? So number two, the detector is you are going to know if this person is a divine connection in your life because they believe in you. So believe it or not, there are friends in your life, or there can be friends in your life who love you but not necessarily believe in the vision that God has given you. So you really have to be careful with that. Sometimes you're not going to be able to tell everyone your vision because they may not believe in it, but your divine connection is going to believe in your vision. Even when you don't have the resources and you can't see those resources or the manifestation of them with your physical eyes, your divine connection is going to believe those things for you, even if the manifestation is not there yet. They're going to see the purpose in the vision inside of you, and they're going to, do whatever it is that is necessary in order for you to pursue those goals in life. So for instance, you might tell a friend, I feel that God wants me to be this multimillionaire entrepreneur. But your friend may say to you, you don't have the resources, you actually live with your mom, you don't have the education, but your divine connection is going to say, you know what, even though you don't have those things right now, I speak life into you, and I believe that God is sending you towards purpose. I believe that you have vision inside of you because God said it. So your divine connection is going to be able to pull down resources from heaven that may not necessarily be here on earth physically right now. Okay? So number three is, I think I said number two is number three, but it doesn't matter. So I'm just going to go into the next one. Number three is that your divine connection is actually going to help you receive those resources. So going back to verse 4, again, Jonathan said that I'm going to strip myself of my robe and give it to you, David. So Jonathan made sure that David had the necessary resources in order for him to complete his promise, or to complete his purpose. So Jonathan gave him that armor. He gave him the tools that are needed. So again, just as a recap, number one, your divine connection is not going to be selfish, but they're going to prefer you before they prefer themselves. Number two is your divine connection is going to believe in you. Number three, your divine connection is going to help equip you during your journey. Number four is your divine connection is going to be honest. They're going to tell you the truth. They are going to tell you if your business plan stinks. They're going to tell you, just be honest with you. Hey, if you want to be an entrepreneur and you don't even go to work on time right now, that might be an issue. Or let's say you want to be an entrepreneur, but your work ethic sucks. They're going to tell you the truth. They're not going to try to bring you down and be negative, but they're going to help you see the weaknesses in yourself in order to bring to strengthen you. And they're going to help strengthen you, through honesty, through helpful critiques, not to just, pull you down and to be negative, but they're going to help you grow in the areas that you are weak. But one of the things that they're going to help you do is to realize what those areas are. One of the things that is never helpful when you're trying to start a business or do anything is to always have a yes man. Someone who always just says, yes, that sounds great, when in all honesty, they know that there are some flaws in those plans. So again, your divine connection is going to be someone who's going to tell you the truth even when you don't like it. And they're telling you the truth because they love you. All right. So number 5 is your divine connection is going to be someone who prays with you. Not only prays with you, but they're praying for you. You're going to need someone. Again, like I mentioned, there's going to be times in this entrepreneur walk when you are going to want to quit. And your divine connection is going to pull down resources for you. They're going to intercede for you. They are going to, they're going to talk to the Lord with you and for you. There's going to be times when you may not necessarily understand your vision. It may not be as clear, but your divine connection is going to be someone who's like, hey, let me fast with you. Let me pray for you. So your divine connection is going to be someone who actually has a connection with God. It's so important for your divine connection to have a connection with God, because if they did not have a connection with God, they would not be a divine connection. Okay, so I wanted this video to be really short, really straight and, straight to the point. So again, I'm going to recap all of this. So your divine connection is, number one, is going to be someone who prefers you before themselves. Number two, they are going to be someone who believes in your vision, who believes in you. Number three, they are going to be someone who is going to help equip you during your journey. Number five, they are going to be someone who's going to tell you the truth. No, that was, do I know how to count? Okay, let's do it again. Number one is going to be someone who is not selfish. They prefer you. Number two, they are going to be someone who believes in you. I have to hold up my fingers because is this sad? I'm confusing myself. Number three, they are going to be someone who is actually going to equip you. Number four, they're going to be someone who's going to tell you the truth. And number five, they're going to be someone who prays for you. Look at me. I hope I did not just confuse you with my numbering. Okay, I hope you got those. But anyways, I just want to be honest and just really transparent with you guys. In the beginning of this entrepreneur walk, it was really hard for me because I thought I could do all of these things on my own. But the Lord really kept, speaking to me about the importance of having people around you who just want the best in you. So I want to give a shout out to one of my friends who is a divine connection, which is Timmy Lolua. She has not only helped me through my entrepreneur journey, but she has helped me in my own just day-to-day Christian walk. So your divine connection is not just going to be someone who's going to help you through your entrepreneur walk, but they're going to be just an overall great friend who wants to see you succeed in every area of your life. So to those people who are kind of like me, who just likes to be a loner and, just to be by themselves at times, you need people, you need community, because you can't do it alone. You can't do life alone. So if you do not have a divine connection, I pray that you will. And for those who have already identified their divine connection, I would say just continue to love on these people. Be a divine connection for them, because they need people who are going to support them as well. And as you know, when you're usually that supporter, sometimes you don't necessarily have people supporting you back. So it is your obligation to be a divine connection for someone as well. So I really do hope that this video blessed you, and I pray that God identifies those divine connections in your life and that you succeed in all you do. So much love. I hope that you have a blessed day. And if you have not subscribed, please do. Love you all. Bye-bye.